Hi, it's Hayden here for Play Music Magazine, and welcome to the second of our licks and tips videos. In this video we're going to be learning a rather cool extended pentatonic tapping lick, as well as how to extend that across the fretboard. It does follow on kind of from our previous lesson, so you might want to go and watch that first for a little bit of how we extend the scales and what we did with them previously. And before I carry on, I would like to say all the tab, as well as some more explanation, is available in Play Music Magazine, which is available at many local music stores and also free to read online at www.playmusicpickup.co.uk. Let's take a listen to the first lick we're going to be learning in this video. Okay, let's break this lick down. First of all, it is based in E minor pentatonic. So let's take 4 notes from that, from our familiar box pattern. If you watched the last video, again, you'll be quite familiar with this. We'll take the 15th fret of the high E, which is a G, then the 12th fret, which is an E, then the 15th fret of the B string, which is a D, and then the 12th fret, which is a B. Now in the last video we chose a note above, which in this case would be the A and the E note. What we're going to do for this lick initially is take a note below. So instead of going G, E, D, B, we're going to go to 3 notes per string, and it's going to be G, E at the 12th, then D at the 10th, then D on the B string at the 15th, the B at the 12th, and then the A at the 10th. Keep in mind this is a little bit of a stretch, so please make sure that you are warmed up. So we take those 6 notes, although really it's 5 because 2 are the same, but bear with me. And we have G, E, D, D, B, A. We have that repeating note that we had in the previous lesson. Only instead of being a D, an E rather, it's D this time. So playing those 6 notes through, so try and get comfortable with that first of all. Now we're going to look at the left hand pattern. It's actually really quite simple, as you can see if you check the tab in the online mag, but it's the 15th fret of the high E, down to the 12th, down to the 10th. Then we move to the B string and go 15, 12, 10, 12, 15, back up to the 10th on the high E, then back down 15, 12, and 10 on the B string. Okay. Try and get that comfortably under your fingers, as it were, and build up the speed. It doesn't have to be super fast as long as it's controlled. Now the thing here is I'm using mostly legato. This is important, because the pick strokes actually represent where we're going to tap. So you'll want 1 pick to start off the run on the E string, then legato using pull-offs, then 1 pick on the B, pull off, then another pick to start it back up, then pick the 10th on the high E, and then pick again back on the 15th of the B to descend. Now we bring the tapping into it, and this lick is a perfect excuse to practice your 2-fingered tapping, which isn't as hard as it might sound. You don't have to, but using 2 fingers makes it a little smoother, a little faster, gives you a bit more of economy of motion, basically. Now the 2 fingers I'd always recommend using would be your 2nd finger and your ring finger. This is because your index finger should be rather busy holding the plectrum. Now you're going to tap on the 17th fret of the high E, and then pull off to the 15th, and then the 12th, and the 10th. Now the important thing when you're tapping as well, try and make sure the movement comes from your finger rather than your wrist. You see a lot of guys tapping and it gets kind of frantic and they're very tense, and that probably leads to a stroke or something like that. So just use your finger to tap that string. And then you're going to do the same thing on the B string, tap at the 17th, pull off 15th, 12th, 10th. So if you try and tie those together, using your ring finger for the high E and your second finger for the B string. Okay, so to get the pattern down, you're going to tap at the 17th, pull off to the 15th, to the 12th, to the 10th, tap the 17th to the B string, pull off to the 15th, 12th, and the 10th, tap the 17th, pull back off to the 10th, hammer on the 12th, hammer on the 15th, and then tap the 17th on the high E, pulling off to the 10th, tap the 17th on the B, pull off to the 12th, pull off to the 10th. Now that's the turnaround's the only part that might give you a little trouble, because it is that quite a quick tap. But start off slowly and keep it smooth. That's the most important thing. And only when you're feeling confident and comfortable, build up the speed gradually, preferably using a metronome if you have one, and then play it as fast as you can, really. Now obviously that lick can be transcribed into any key that you like, or using different parts of the scale. Instead of doing it below, you might want to do it above and get again, staying within that E minor pentatonic really quite strictly. Now if you've already read the tab, if you go and read the tab, I wanted to take this idea of this 5-note but 6-note run and extend it across the neck, because usually if you're going to work across the neck using a scale, you'll follow a scale rather slavishly perhaps, which is great, but sometimes it's nice to have these little hooks and outsidey kind of feels to a run. And this pattern, with having those repeated D notes, can give everything a really fluid, bubbly feel. So what I did was take that pattern and repeat it in 3 places on the neck. You'd have it here starting where we just did it. Then the next would be starting with your little finger at the 12th fret, your second finger on the 9th, and your index finger on the 7th, on the G string, and the D string. And then the final part would be fretting the 10th fret on the A string with your little finger, your second finger on the 7th, and your index finger on the 5th, and use that for the low E as well. Now that stretch does really get kind of uncomfortable if you're not used to wide stretch runs, so take it very carefully. And one hint, if it starts to hurt at all, don't believe all those people that say play through it. Being macho is all well and good, but being macho with tendonitis probably isn't so cool. Work up to it and take it easy. But using that pattern, the run that I came up with here, as you'll see from the tab, starting from the low E going up to the high E, we'll have 5, 7, 10, 5, 7, 10, 7, 5, 10, 7, 5. So that's like this rolling part. And then we're going to ascend up to the next position. So it would be starting with the low E again. 5, 7, 10, 5, 7, 10, and shift to the D, 7, 9, 12, to the G, 7, 9, 12. And then go back down until you're at the 7th on the D string. Then ascend, starting at the D string this time. 7, 9, 12 to the G, 7, 9, 12. Then we'll move to the B string, which is 10, 12, 15, and the high E, 10, 12, 15. And then we'll just come back down that part of the shape, 12, 10, then to the B string, 15, 12, 10, and then with a bit of a bending up to the E from the D on the 15th fret of the B string. Played slowly, it sounds a bit like this. And you can then work on speeding that up. And just build the speed as fast as you can or as fast as you want to over time. Okay, that's it for this edition of Licks and Tips. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have fun playing around with the tapping licks and the extended run. As ever, if you have any questions at all, just get in touch with us through here or send a message through the site or anything like that. For the next lesson, we're going to be taking our last look at the pentatonic, and we're also going to be giving those fingers a little bit of a rest because there's not really much in the way of wide stretches involved. But we are going to look at that pentatonic box and how to introduce other scales or modes, if you like, into that area for a little bit of extra spice. Okay, until the next time, have fun. See you then. Bye-bye.